Greetings, family, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? It's been about a month since the revolution began here in Kenya. Lives have been lost. People have been abducted. Some very dirty dictatorial games have been played, but we are finally, looks like we're making headway, although the signposts keep shifting. And, I think I've already talked about why we got here in the first place, family, but there's been confirmation after confirmation that there was a billionaire ambassador called Meg Whitman. And I think she actually ran for the Republican Party. And there was even a scandal with her son, family. I think you can see it there. Her son was accused of some dirty games in university. And I think she just, gave some money. But she came to Kenya. She's worth $3.3 billion. And she chose a job as an ambassador to come to Kenya a couple of weeks ago. And ever since then, we've seen a neo-colonial onslaught on our nation. That's why today Kenyans are actually demanding for her recall, demanding for her resignation, because she is the reason that Kenya finds itself in these financial woes. Now, for all of us, I know we're familiar with, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. We were literally under an economic invasion, family, where there was, our government, as usual, they'll pick the most corrupt leader, the most corrupt person. And mind you, this U.S. ambassador, during the last general election, which was highly contested, she was literally there for I think the 2 weeks or 21 days, every day. So what hand did the divided states have in making sure that our current president got in? And the reason all fingers are pointing to her is because there was a recent article, I think either in Bloomberg or the Washington Post, that said that she was the reason, that pointed fingers at her, saying she was the reason that Biden took a massive risk on Ruto and decided to, literally bring the jackals out to neo-colonize Kenya. And there's a clip I'll add to the end of this, where this really smart analyst talks about how when the IMF and the World Bank come into a country, usually their purpose is they're not there to loan you and to help your country become great and to help you do this and to help you pay this. No, they're not even there as a lending agency. What he said is that a lot of the times IMF and World Bank are giving you the money that they're never expecting to get back, because they are a front for the real colonizers. And remember, the global colonizers in this generation have a corporate face. It's the corporations, like the Gates of this world, that are deciding who's doing what, that are funding governments, that are funding elections, that are selecting presidents for many African nations. And so he was talking about how Kenya needs to be more thorough in looking deeper at the multinational corporations that were set to gain. And one of the ones that was set to gain was Coca-Cola, but they have pulled out. BlackRock had come into Kenya and was coming into our stock exchange, but they have also decided to pull back. But the IMF was using Ruto as a poster boy, family, to pass this bill by hook or by crook. A lot of Kenyans were very shocked by the revelations from the members of parliament themselves that not only was there a bribe of 2 million shillings, which is equivalent of $20,000, but it looks like the president was controlling or buying out the entire Senate, the entire members of parliament, and all the ministries that run various things. In fact, we just found out today that our international airport was being sold or was being leased out for 30 years to a shoddy company in India. But those are stories for other days, family. So The revolution continues. We know that the World Bank and the IMF don't play fair. They have been badly exposed in this season. Those who didn't know or had positive leanings towards the World Bank and the IMF have started to give them a side eye. A lot of people are now rediscovering things like the structural adjustment programs in the 90s, which actually put a lot of African nations into debt and actually messed up our economies. Because you see, when the IMF and the World Bank come, the main things they're looking for is a neo-colonial takeover. So they want you to privatize a lot of the parastatals, the government-owned agent companies that are making money. They want you to tax your people heavily because they want to reduce the middle class and have a dependent economy, so there's no one to fight against your policies. Everyone's hungry. That's why people like Museveni are still in power, but those are stories for other days. And they basically create access because all their money, even though it's a loan, it's like you going to your bank and they tell you, yeah, but you can only sleep with your husband on Mondays and Thursdays and you can only drive your car on Saturdays. That's how the IMF and the World Bank operate. And a lot of people were saying that their interest in Kenya was, of course, to try and push back China and Russia. But, in order for them to give us these loans, the government had to open up their books and allow the US to have a look at what kind of loans China was giving them. So it has exposed us as a nation badly, but it has exposed the World Bank and the IMF agenda extremely badly and their negative intentions for Kenya. And despite this, they are still insisting that they're going to work with us. But now we're even asking to see an audit of the debt because it's looking like the debt may even be questionable. A lot of the debt that was incurred, the money never reached Kenya. And I've been talking about this for years. But we'll see, family. Of course, a lot of you guys have been warning us that the IMF and the World Bank don't play fair. Well, thank God the revolution is being televised. And the sad thing is that the same finance bill that Kenya is fighting was quietly implemented in Tanzania, and the people didn't even know it. But on behalf of all of us Kenyans, we're so grateful to all of you that have stood with us, that continue to stand with us spiritually, physically, financially. There's a lot of diasporans who have donated to the cause, who have picketed in front of their own, the Kenyan embassies in the countries they're in, and are just standing in so much solidarity with us. We were even being told that Kenya was the most searched name for the last month in the world. So this has definitely put Kenya on the map. But as we know, there are many other interests that would obviously hope that Kenya doesn't succeed, but it's already written. We are living out the prophecy of our ancestors. Thanks to everyone that supports us on Patreon. We appreciate, love you so much. And those who sent us a donation through PayPal during these times, thank you, thank you, thank you. It enables us to continue to report the news at such a time as this. Until next time, family. Tuko pamoja.